Hey, it's Chris with New Vision Asia. Chinese New Year is coming, so I just wanted to give you some of the highlights of what you're going to be experiencing as a buyer. You may be an Amazon importer, you're a wholesaler, but this is your first year dealing with Chinese New Year, or maybe it's your 10th year, and just things keep changing. You know, Chinese New Year 20 years ago never lasted a month for the factories. It was they'd only give their workers a week, and they were gone on that train. They came back right away, and production resumed right away. Over time, with slowdowns in the economy in 2008, and recently, as the orders dropped, they've begun to expand that Chinese New Year out. The other thing is, believe it or not, there is a worker shortage in China. It seems odd. Over 1 billion people. How can there be a worker shortage? Well, the new generation that would be coming online to work in the factories, a lot of them are the one-child policy, so they have more resources from their parents. Their education levels have gone up, so many of them don't want to work on the production lines. They're looking for different types of jobs. So many of the workers are beginning to get older, they've retired, and so there is a demand. And this is especially true when you get the factories moving inland, so some of the coastal cities don't have as many workers coming back because there's more options at home. And what do I mean by at home? Well, many of the workers that are working these production lines come from the countryside. So they take trains or long bus rides to get to these factories. And they're there working, and it depends on the factory, what they've agreed upon, the number of days, hours. Yes, there are regional and national laws related to that, but they may want, they may be doing overtime and get paid for it. So it has really become a workers' market on how much they want to work and where they want to work because of this. So that's why wage rates start going up. Plants start moving further into the countryside to try and be closer to these workers' homes. Because when the worker comes from the countryside to the city or to the coastal plants, they have to leave, the vast majority have to leave their children back where they came from, with relatives, grandma and grandpa and that. So, they do have phones, and, these days the internet allows for connection, but they don't, for the entire year. Well, okay, they go back in October too for the National Week, but they're going long stretches without seeing family, and that of course weighs on them. So their demands for more wages go up as it becomes that worker market, or they don't want to return. So what tends to happen, and what you're facing now, is about a month before the official Chinese New Year, these workers begin to leave. That's why factories try and make it so that final paycheck comes as close as they can to Chinese New Year to keep the workers as long as they can, because once they got paid, they're gone. And now they're booking bus tickets, train tickets early and earlier and earlier, so they're calculating whether or not they want to take that pay or not, because odds are they can either find another job in that area where they've gone to before. There may be a job now somewhere much closer, so they're going to weigh all those odds because the word spreads. And with the internet now, and the Chinese are very, very connected on the internet, they're aware of where the jobs are, what the salaries are. There's no hiding information anymore. So about that month ahead, workers start to disappear. So those orders you placed, hopefully about 3 months in advance, that's, again, relationships with the factories. I talk about all my videos, becomes key of getting your product out to ship. Otherwise, you're going to have this big month downtime while you're waiting. So as it becomes closer, the workers leave. And how this starts to have a big domino effect is when we're talking about subcontractors or components being sent up to a main factory, that factory's workers may leave earlier than the factory you're using, but you're going to be impacted by that other factory if they didn't send up their sub-assemblies in time. And then it hits you on the back end because, yes, your factory, hey, they say we're back to work after 2 weeks, but their packaging factory or, more components, sub-assemblies, they're not working for the 2 weeks on the other side of Chinese New Year. So it really does. This is where that whole, they say we're down for a month. That's where that impacts your production schedule. And you will even see a lot of this, quick side note, not on Chinese New Year, but over in October when people are leaving for Golden Week. The impact isn't as long, but it'll still be there. And then these same workers, they're working at the ports. So your shipping can get shut down. And so everybody rushes to get that container out or that air shipment out before Chinese New Year. So rates going up, except these shippers start to drop containers or push back. And you want to make sure with that relationship with your shipper, you follow up carefully to make sure that your shipments are the ones getting on the boat. Because if the crane operator just doesn't show up one day, they're loading up what they've got and they're gone. And you'll be stuck with your goods in that box sitting there waiting for a month, and there's going to be nothing you can do about it. They can't open it up to then go air shipment or anything like that. So use the Chinese New Year for product development or things that an office worker who may come back after 2 weeks can answer for you. But if it's related to that production line, you're going to get vague answers because they can't do anything about it. They can't tell you a timeline. So a lot of product development, a lot of online sourcing if you're looking for new things or scheduling out, working on your catalogs, work your sales side of the business because for that month of Chinese New Year, it is going to be nothing going on. And as a side note, a month later, when you think that they're going to be producing at full steam, no, it's going to grow slowly back up as they wait to see what workers are coming online. Do they all come back? So you should expect a month to a month and a half of slowdowns and challenges in the production side of it. So that's what goes on at Chinese New Year from a producing, buyer, factory standpoint. So go out, enjoy the holidays, wish everyone a happy New Year, and then get back to it as soon as everybody's online and full steam ahead. This is Chris with New Vision Asia.